Okay, 28 says the height represented by S in feet of a ball that is thrown straight up is given by the function S to the t equals negative 16t squared plus 64. Find the time it takes for the ball to reach its maximum height, and then what is the maximum height? Well, think about this. When you throw a ball up, it's going to make a negative parabola like this, right? And so that's why this starts with a negative. And its maximum height is going to be its vertex. And the vertex formula says for your x value, you need to use part of the quadratic equation. Remember, the quadratic equation is the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2a. Well, the vertex formula comes from just this part of it right here. So it's the opposite of b over 2a, and when you find that number, you're going to plug it in to find the y value. So if we look back at this equation that they gave us, s of t equal to negative 16t squared plus 64, they're saying we can use this to find the amount of time. If we find the vertex, we can find the maximum. So here we have the opposite of b, which is, it doesn't have a b really. When you look at it, it's negative 16. Did I copy it wrong? Oops, yes it does. There's a t right there. Okay, so the opposite of b would be opposite of 64. So it's negative 64 over 2 times a, which is 2 times negative 16. So that becomes negative 64 over negative 32. And a negative divided by negative is positive, because of course the height will be a positive number, not a negative. So 64 divided by 32 equals 2. So what we have just discovered is it's going to be 2 seconds. Excuse me. No, we didn't discover that. We found out that x is a 2. And so what we need to do now is go in and plug in 2 for all of the t values. And so we have negative 16 2 squared plus 64 and 2. And now when we solve this, we'll find out what other number goes here. So it's negative 16 times 4, which is 64, negative 64, plus 64 times 2, which is 128. So when you put these two together, you get a positive 64. So we have a 2 and a 64. And that tells us that our maximum height is 64 feet.